Shalom.
Shalom.
When the start of source by giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makal Kodash, my double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers in the work and truth, while sincerity, and the brother Razamath.
And the brother Yakanan.
And then, Lord's will, we just go and get into a little basic video. Sometimes you need to touch on the basics, man. Right, on basically, just 12 tribes of Israel, see where the spirit leads. Right, so this is Luke 1:68. It says, "Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people." Right?
Yeah, and you're going into his people, talking about you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You descend back, through your fathers to the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, spoken of in the Holy Bible, man. Right, the Lord, specifically came back for his own people, to redeem his own people, and to cover them from their transgressions, man, as well as his own.
Yep.
All right, so, but the world wants to teach you that that the Lord, came back for all nations, right, that he came back for the whole earth, but the whole earth didn't need Yahushai.
That's right.
All right, those that needed to be rescued from their enemies, which is going to go to later on in the verse, needed rescuing, and deliverance and a savior, man. All right, so when you understand everything in its correct understanding, the Bible starts to come together and it starts to make sense, man.
That's right. It says, "And hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, and as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began." Right?
Hey, and these holy prophets which have been since the world began, man. That goes back into Jeremiah 1 and 5.
Yep.
Or was it 5 and 1?
1 and 5.
1 and 5. Can't. I've ordained thee from the belly.
Yeah.
Because the Lord, his prophets have been since the very beginning. Continuing their lot in every single generation, man. And the Lord has set us up again in these last days. As it tells us in Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. To prophesy the downfall of this kingdom and to tell our people, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that our Savior, who is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is about to deliver his people, primarily the elect of his people, man. All right?
That's right. It says, to perform the mercy, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
So it says that we should be saved from our enemies, man. Right? So let's go to Psalms 83.
Yeah.
For sure. Because now we understand that, the children of Israel, in these last days and throughout their generations, they've always had enemies. There's always had nations of people, right, that didn't like them for the fact that they were the chosen people of the Most High Power, man.
Yep.
Come on, bro.
That's right. It says Psalms 83 from the top. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O Most High, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head." All right, so now it's basically saying that these following, these nations are going to be listed are the enemies of Israel. Right? It says they have taken crafty counsel. Right? So basically they've, in fact, let me read it to the end. It says they've taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. Right? So they've met up in secret. Right? They've said what they're going to say, and they've done certain things, right, to basically, deal wickedly with the children of Israel. Right? It says they have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Right, and that's part of that crafty counsel, man. Yeah. Which is why they push certain things. Right, which is why, for instance, in the media, they're pushing that whole black and brown, ain't the same. I.e., referencing the Latinos, right? But we the same people, man. Right? But they're trying to, that's part of that crafty counsel to stop, the northern and the southern kingdom coming back together. Right? It says, "For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee." Right? So all these heathen nations, they came together and they were down with the plan. Right? It says that the tabernacles of Edom, right, first nation named, right, so-called white man, right? It says, "And the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot." Salah. Right? So all of these heathen nations, they came together, to see Israel fall.
Yeah. Hey, and if I could say, bro, like, part of that crafty counsel as well, is painting over the images. You know, if we can get Job 9:24 and First Maccabees 3:48, Baba Kashar, man, because this crafty counsel goes deep. You know, that this so-called white man has done, and also, you know, the other nations, because, you know, he had the help of the other nations to keep this under wraps for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of money has gone into keeping you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans from knowing the truth about, you know, your past. Money has been pumped into that, man. You know, in declaring those so-called Jews over there in the land of Israel today, the real Jews, that took a lot of money, man. When you go to the Balfour Declaration and that took a lot of time and effort, and that was all in hopes of, you know, making sure that you guys will never, you know, come to your true inheritance ever again, man.
Yeah, and if I can add as well, that's why, for instance, anything you say against a so-called Jew, now you being labeled an anti-Semite, man. Right? Anything you say about this devil, but he ain't the real one.
Yeah.
Right? He's, you know, the so-called Jew's an imposter, man, and he's gonna be revealed in these last days.
Yeah. Right,
for the imposter that he is.
Hey, and you've even had so-called Jews come out and say we're not the real Jews.
Yeah.
I think, what's the guy's name? Arthur, I forgot the guy's name, but he had the book that was called The 13th Tribe.
Yeah.
And he was basically, throughout the whole book, he was basically proving the point how the Jews that are in the land of Israel today could not be the real Jews.
Yeah.
He said if they were, they would have to be the 13th tribe. You know, speaking this sarcastically, because there isn't a 13th tribe, man. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. So he was a so-called Jew, and he was even revealing that himself, man. And the evidence is out there, man.
Yep, that's right. They don't fit the prophecies.
Can't.
Right, it says, the earth is given, Job 9:24 again, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? In fact, I think that was the first time I said it again. I think the first time I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says he covereth the faces of the judges. He's the number one judge on the face of the planet Earth, Yahweh Shai. Right? But Esau's basically made it seem like Yahweh Shai, and well, really Yahweh, right, they basically depicted them both as being lepers, man, so-called white people, right, which to be, you know, have so-called white skin, that's leprosy according to the Bible, man, right? So he's gone around painting, you know, the holy angels and everyone as so-called white people. That's blasphemy, man. Right, the Lord's going to have a bone to pick with you. Right, and you ain't gonna retaliate like you think you're gonna retaliate either, man. You just gonna get blown to smithereens.
That's it. Hey, and that's why the so-called white man has changed what it is, you know, the definitions of the word leprosy.
Yeah.
All right. If you Google leprosy now, what's gonna appear is, you know, people with like a kind of like boils on their skin, you know, deformed, you know, pigment and whatever. But really, what it is being leprous means to have basically no melanin. Right, you're void of melanin, so you're basically see-through, man. Right, you're basically see-through. That's what it means to have leprosy. All right, so that's why it was so important for Esau Edom to change the conception of what it actually means, man. To hide himself. It's all part of hiding himself. But what does it say in the scriptures? It says that he shall not be able to hide himself, man. Right, he's basically being exposed now in these last days.
That's right. This is First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So that's it. The heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their own images. That's why you go to, you know, the Catholic Church and churches around the world. What are you going to see? You're going to see pictures of leprous, you know, so-called saints, you know, put up as the men of the Lord. You know, when that's not actually the case, man. But that's all part of the confusion and the witchcraft of Esau Edom, man. Because there is still some churches out there, namely in Amsterdam and throughout places in Europe, Sardinia, you know, where you can actually see black images still there. You know, so Esau couldn't get a hold of every single, you know, church and, you know, image that was created in that season, in that time, and destroy them. It's impossible.
Hey, right? but it's interesting because we'll get Eastern Europeans come up to the camp and we'll say, well, when you go into churches, you see, you know, so-called black people up in them, and they'll be like, well, I know. So amongst them, they know.
It's common knowledge,
But amongst the people to whom it matters, they don't know.
They have no clue,
They have no clue.
God.
Right? But you know, back in the main subject, this is Matthew 1:21. It says, and shall bring forth the son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai, for he shall save his people from their sins.
Right. And that's our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. He's going to save his people from their sins, man. Yeah. Again, because who was the Lord's statutes and commandments given to? They were given to the children of Israel, man.
Yeah.
And it says when you go to Deuteronomy, let's go to Deuteronomy, Babu Kashar.
Yep.
You know, let's go to the curses, you know, and if we didn't keep them, you know, what the judgment was going to be. Because this is an identifying mark on who we are as a people, man. The Lord gave us curses to identify us, and he gave us, you know, certain signs that we should be known by, man.
Yeah.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah, so Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So that's the beginning of the rollout of the contract that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua made with his people. He's reading through the contract now. He's, look, this is the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
If you don't, you know, if you go outside of this contract, you know, if you break it, then there's going to be another set of terms and conditions that's going to fall upon you, man.
Yep.
All right, it's very plain and clear. And then you're going to see who it matches up to as a people. Go on, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Let me, well, get this. It's cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Right, so whatever Jake, you know, put their hand to do concerning business, concerning, you know, prospering in the society, it's not going to work, right? It's always going to fail.
Yeah.
All right, and that's what that's going into. It's always going to fail. There's nothing we can do in this society to be on top. To be on top, what do we have to do? We have to compromise, man. You got to sell your soul, right? You got to bow down to the so-called Jews that have taken our position.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get on any type of a level, and even then, it's not even a sure riches, man.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's going to be taken away from you, evidently. We see that time and time over again with these celebrities, man. Michael Jackson being an example.
Yeah.
All right. He was a billionaire. You know, he owned these masters and whatnot. But look what happened to Michael Jackson. He got bugged out. He had all these demons on him. You know, he changed the color of his skin. You know, because he was doing a lot of stuff that he shouldn't have been doing, man.
Yeah, that's right.
So at the end of the day, you're going to get bugged out because we need to get out of this society, man.
That's right. That's right. This is Haggai 1 and 6, just on that same topic. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Right? So Jake, you know, no matter what they do, no matter their business enterprise, man, they can't do it. Okay, that's part of the curses. Right? And we all know that one. You might finally have some savings, and then Satan comes, knocks on your door and says, look, man, hey, that money you saved up, yo, that's really my money, man.
Yeah. IRS.
Yeah, the IRS.
Is it IRS? Yeah, in America?
Yeah, in America, yep.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes, you know, he got locked up, you remember?
Yeah.
He got locked up for a long time, man. Tax evasion and all that kind of stuff. Because they always try and cut corners. Because you might get a check from the so-called Jew for $100 million for doing a few movies and whatnot. But then what's going to happen? The government's going to require a very large amount of that money in taxes.
Yeah.
So there's like, you know, all that hard money you've now worked for is going to get cut by half.
Yeah.
And Jay don't want to do that. No one wants to give that money away, man.
Yeah.
You know, so then they try and, you know, look through loopholes and they get like a good, what do they call them, lawyers?
Yeah.
You know, accountants, sorry. They get good accountants and lawyers to try and, you know, do certain loopholes so they don't have to, you know, pay certain taxes, put it in this account in this country, then you can avoid this. But it never works in the end.
It never works for Jay, man.
You know, it never works in the end.
Yeah.
You have Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, he tried to do the same thing and he's been fined. So Jake always trying to find a way out, but this ain't our way out, man. As the scripture saying, Micah 2:10, you know, this is not our rest.
Yeah, that's right.
Edomites can do that. Edomites can avoid paying tax.
Yeah.
Google can do that. You know, all of these major companies in the world, they can do that because this is their kingdom.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. So back in the curses, let me jump down to verse. And, you know, there are certain of these ones. I'll get the ones, you know, relevant to our times, but there's certain these ones that have happened, you know, throughout the ages, man. Right? Whether it was 70 AD, you know, obviously during slavery. Right? But, you know, ones that basically that you can look at, point in your you know, in your finger, be like, oh, but that you know is to do with those people, right? Let me grab this as well. It says, I'll also get 44. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. Right now, who can, bro? Israel, the real children of Israel, we can't be lending to anyone other than other Jakes. Right? Because we ain't in no position of financial power, man. Right? It says, he shall be the head and thou shall be the tail. Right? When you're around these Edomites, these, whatever, what have you, right, you realize that Jake really ain't on no level. Right? Financially, we ain't on no level whatsoever.
Yeah. That's true, man. And that's why the scriptures say, I believe it's in Ecclesiastes, I have seen servants upon the horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Yeah.
Right? Which represents our people now walking as servants, and slaves to the so-called white men and the other nations, man. That's literally what's happened. The tables have turned, man. But the tables are about to flip again when Yahushua makes his return.
That's right. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Right? It's basically a majority of our people will be under these curses, man. Right? Now, you can't tell me a group of people where the majority are in these positions described here. Right? This is only speaking about the Israelites. Now, you have Israelite foreigners, right? But in their little small community, right, they'll be the ones falling under these curses whilst the rest of their people around them are doing good. Right? It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. Right, and here's a good point. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Right?
So as bad as these curses are, they still act as an indicator to who we are as a people. Right? As terrible as they are, and us getting destroyed and worn out, the scriptures speak about wearing out the saints of the Most High. Those are indicators to who we are as a people. Because one of the scriptures that solidified, my belief in this truth was Deuteronomy 28:68. All right. When I heard that, everything came back to me, and also these scriptures that we're reading now from the 15th verse on down. When I heard that and I put it all together, that's when I was like, bingo, this is the truth.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. So that tribulation was needed, man.
That's right.
That hardship was needed so we could actually know who we were as a people. So that's how the Lord works in very mysterious ways.
If I can say, because then what would you call it? Esau can write the books. Esau can write the Balfour Declaration. Call them God, says, and label, give them the label Israel. Right, give them the land of Israel. Right, Esau can do all of that, but what he can't do is he can't undo history. History that is written.
That's it.
Right, he can't undo the condition that Jake is in, man. Right. Because what's he going to do? Make every Jake rich? So that the curse is no longer applied? Really, that's what you should, try. Because look, he tried making them so-called Jews fit the curses. That's why their women will cut their hair, right? That's why, they'll do certain things to artificially try and fit the curses. But they don't fit the curses, man.
Hey, imagine, you was to speak to a so-called Jew, right? I just thought of this. Imagine we was to speak to a so-called Jew that had so-called lost his religion. And we had to convince this so-called Jew that he was an Israelite. And we was going to start from Deuteronomy 28:15 on down. He wouldn't get any of it. He would be like, well, that hasn't happened to me. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
That's a good point.
That's proof that these guys, these scriptures are not for you, man. They don't apply to you.
They ain't the real ones.
They ain't the real ones, man.
Right? So then they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Right? So as you pointed out, those curses are required, right, for this point in time that we are in right now. It's 48. So therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. Right, now Jay can't do anything without having to go to the so-called white man. He's the ruler of this earth at the moment.
That's it. If you want a house, you gotta go to the so-called white man.
Yeah.
If you own your own house and you want to make modifications to the house, you need to get permission from the so-called white man.
Yeah.
If you're poor and you want to, over here in the UK, we call it, signing on, going to the job center, you need money. That's also the so-called white man.
Yeah.
So everything leads back onto the so-called white man. If you're rich, you're still paying the so-called white man taxes.
Yeah.
So it don't matter what level you get to in his kingdom, the main point is that this is not your kingdom.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. It says, and here's the killer as well. Here's a killer, right? Because with 68, I don't know how, but Esau tries to, find a way. But that's not really talking about what you. But hey, so explain this. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. You Google yoke of iron, you know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to see.
That's it.
You're going to see jakes with yokes of iron upon their necks.
That's it. But what is that? That's an identifying mark.
Yeah.
And the Lord made sure that specifically happened in abundance to our people.
Yeah.
So that when you do Google it, the first thing you're going to see is our people, man.
Yeah.
Right? The Lord is bad. The way the Lord is doing things, he's confounding the so-called white man with his lies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, as the what you call it, the song young children sing, liar, liar, pants on fire, man. Liar, liar, America on fire. Right? It says, and until he have destroyed thee. Right?
Hey, and didn't the so-called white man destroy us in slavery, in the transatlantic slave trade? He destroyed us as a people. Right? He beat our identity out of us. We're no longer calling ourselves, by our tribes. We started calling ourselves Negroes, Black, Spics, all this Hispanic, all of these, bywords.
Yep.
And, that's all documented in the scriptures, man, to happen.
Right.
All right, so that's another prophecy right there.
Yeah,
man.
another indicator. Right?
Yeah, it's another indicator. That didn't happen to the so-called Jews, man.
Yeah, verse 54 now. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Right.
No, and it's once again, it's beautiful. Like you're saying, it's beautiful because what does Esau do? He's like, oh, these niggas, they're always killing each other.
Yeah.
So who's that talking about then?
Can't.
Right, these niggas always killing each other. So you yourself have documented that this is the Israelites, man.
Yeah. That's true. We are always killing each other, man. The ones of us that don't have this truth.
Yeah.
And that's an identifying mark once again to who we are as a people, man.
Yep.
The either shall be evil amongst them. We see that every day.
Yeah.
There's certain parts of London you can go to where you see your own people. There ain't no love there for you.
Yeah.
Man.
Really,
they want to actually start something so they can cause harm to you, man.
Yeah.
That's part of the curses.
Yep.
That is actually part of the curses.
And it's a good point you made there, because for instance, you might see these Ishmaelites, right, when we're up at the camp, they might think we're Muslims, which we're not.
Yeah.
But they might think we're Muslims, and they'll come up and they'll stop and say, hey, brother.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we're not Muslims. Oh, fine. And they zoom off.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're like, oh, that's my brother. Let me go see what he's saying.
Exactly.
Whatever, what have you. Well, Jay ain't like that, man. Like you saying, you go to certain parts of London, and I'm sure it's worse in the States, but you go certain parts where Jay be at, and you don't know whether you're going to walk through that neighborhood okay, man.
No, real talk, man. Real talk. You can actually get killed out here, man. And, a lot of Jake have fallen victim to Jake, man. Jake will kill your ass, man. You go to Mexico, them Jakes out there will fuck you up. They'll behead you. They'll do all kinds of things, man. Hey, but that's the harshness of the curses of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
That's right.
That's
right. It says, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. Right? And then I'll read verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Right now, who does that, man? Hey, that's a so-called black woman, man.
Yeah.
Man, there's certain times I see, a so-called black woman with their young infant children. Man, I fall for them children, man.
Yeah.
You look at them, you're like, damn, man, hey, that kid has no chance. You look at them, you genuinely like, that child has no chance. That's your mother? Right? You hear all of these stories where there was one story in America where the mom left the oven on, right, so that the children had warmth while she went out clubbing.
Yeah.
And then came back, there was a house fire, then had a TV cruise, and then she was all lying and shit, right, trying to pretend like she was there, and then it came out that she had left them with the fucking oven on for heat, man. Right? Yeah. And who else do you hear in mass cursing out their own men? Right? The only other nation that I hear are Italian women, and you got Israelites among them.
Yeah, real talk.
Right? Hey, Italian men, they're so effeminate. Hey. Yeah, but those would be them sassy ass Italian Jake women, man. Them Israelite foreigners. once again, and that's the beauty of these scriptures, because it then, on a basic level, allows you to find out who, as a whole the Israelites are. Yep. But it then allows you to identify the Israelite foreigners in the lands wherein they are, man.
Yep, that's right. That's a beautiful point, bro.
All right, it says, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom and toward her son. Right, and then I'll jump to the point, verse 68. It says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt with ships, right, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right? Hey, so we left Egypt, right, with Moses. We walked, man.
Yeah.
Right? That's not something where you need ships. So this is talking about the only other great slavery that involved ships, which is the transatlantic slave trade.
Exactly.
Right now, Esau might, try be slick or whatever, right? Because Esau's the devil, man. And then people don't wanna identify the Israelites as the Israelites, so they'll hear what Esau says and just be like, oh yeah, that's the explanation. Yeah, I knew them niggas weren't the Israelites, right? But hey, that's because you don't want to receive it, because your eyes are blinded. It says, thou shalt see. So it says, by the way which whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. For there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now people hear no man shall buy you, so they're like, what? Wait, what? So that means it's definitely not about you, because people were bought. But that word buy there means redeem.
Yeah, redeem.
Right? When you what do you call it? Well, I always forget. In fact, that the breakdown's there still. Let me open it up. It says, no man shall buy you. Right? So it says representing. So it says Deuteronomy 32:6. It says, do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Right? Hath he not made thee and established thee? And the word buy and bought in those two scriptures here are exactly the same in the Hebrew. Right? So what that is talking about, Deuteronomy 28:68, when it says no man shall buy thee, it says no man shall redeem thee. Right? No man shall take you out of the position that you are in. Right? Because Esau's the devil. You're telling me he had niggas, right, available for sale, right? They were like, oh, come buy us. And Esau was like, no, I'm a good upstanding citizen. I don't want to buy you. I mean, where in history has that happened?
Yeah,
where people like, yo, look, man, we wanna come and be, slaves onto you, but none of the nations round about were like, nah, we don't want you. That's bullshit. That never happened. Right?
Even unto this very day.
Yeah.
That would still happen, man.
That's right.
Oh, I got Revelations 11.
Okay.
This is Revelations 11:8, and it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So when we go back into that, the word Egypt, Deuteronomy 28:68, it really represents bondage. All right. Now, America is synonymous with the word Egypt many times in the book of Isaiah and Jeremiah, man, because it's not talking about the ancient Egypt, man. America is the new Egypt. It has the spirit of Egypt, man. That's why it says, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And that's also why when you go to America, there's a lot of places, states and whatnot, that are named after specific places in the land of ancient Egypt, man. Because it's the rebirth of Egypt. And not to mention, the dollar bill has a pyramid on it, man.
That's right.
Right? And why do you think the Lord has done all of these things, so then we can link it together and know who we are as a people, man? These are all identifying signs and marks, man. And the so-called white man had no choice in saying, we're not going to do that because it's going to give this away. It's all through the Spirit.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? It's all through the Spirit of the Lord, man. He had no choice. All right, because you would think that someone would sit down and say, let's not do that, because there's going to come a time where they're going to look at this and connect the dots. You had no choice. You were just playing your position and doing things that the Lord wanted you to do. That's why the scriptures say you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, man, because you're subject to the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Yeah,
that's true, because they were trying to hide the truth, right, by painting over the images, but in doing so, they were just fulfilling the scriptures.
That's it. That's it. It's a beautiful thing, man. Let me get another precept. Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandereth out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Right? So, look, our people that are in the land of America, man, they're in the congregation of the dead. They don't have this truth, man. You know? Because that's why it says in Revelations, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets, man, because they're dead and they're null of the truth, man. They're dehydrated. They don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of who they are, man, as a people, which is why they're classified as dead.
That's right.
I got one more.
Yep.
Jeremiah 17:4, I think it is. You know, they shall discontinue from their heritage. Right, this is Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. And it says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever, man. So this is proof that we was going to discontinue from calling ourselves Israelites, right? We was going to discontinue from that heritage, and we were going to serve our enemies in the land that we knew not, which was the land of America, man. All right? And, you know, throughout the Caribbeans, you know, throughout the four corners of the earth, really, we were serving in captivity, man, because we were spread throughout the four corners.
That's right. That's right. This is Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob. Right, so we just read then in Ezekiel 17, right, that the Lord basically was gonna fuck up Jake because Jake went off, man. Right, you read Amos 3, it says, "You only have I known out of all the nations of the earth, therefore will I punish you for all your iniquity, man." Right, so the Lord punished us because he knew he you know, we're His people and He loves us, right? But the point is, He says He will yet have mercy on Jacob, man, right, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers, Israelite foreigners, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right? So this is speaking about how, you know, despite everything, right, despite all the lows, right, the Lord is going to have mercy on us, man.
That's right.
Right? And He going to take us back. He going to allow us to, you know, to be joined unto Him again. The beautiful things, when you get the understanding of these scriptures, you understand that this whole play has been rewritten from before the beginning of time.
That's right.
Right? Because Yahushua was there from the beginning of time. Right? Before the foundations of the earth. And his role was always going to be the same, that He should die for the sins of the nation of Israel, man. And so that the nation of Israel will be adopted back unto Yahweh.
God.
Right?
I got a quick one.
Yep.
This is Amos 3 and verse 1. It says, "Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth."
Yep.
Right? So the Lord has only known the 12 tribes of Israel, man. That's the only people He's dealing with, man. Right? You Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities, man. So because the Lord knows us as a people, He loves us with the apple of His eye, that's why He's punishing us as a people, man. That's why we received, you know, the curses to put us back on the straight and narrow path, man. You know, to being righteous again. Because He cares about His people, man. That's why He's chastising us.
That's right. That's right. In scriptures, when you read in Hebrews, it speaks about that. You know, when you love your son, right, you go and chastise him. But if you don't chastise him, you don't love him.
Yeah, spare not the word, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
It says Revelation 7. It says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind, that nuclear wind, you know, that destruction, should not blow upon the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads." Right? So it's basically saying this destruction ain't going to happen, right, until the elect is sealed, 144,000, right? But it's of whom though? Right, of the nation of Israel, right? Allowing us to basically go back to the point we originally started on the fact that the Lord, He only came for the children of Israel. The Lord only loves Israel, man.
That's right.
Right? It says, "And I heard the number," which Apostle Tahar himself, he said, "Look, man, I believe that the 144,000 are already sealed."
Yeah.
Right? It says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Asher was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. Right? So it's 144,000 of all the nations of all the tribes of Israel. Now, while I was reading, I was thinking the Lord didn't have to have it written this way. Because one of the the questions people come, they're like, oh, what about the tribe of Dan?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, bro.
It's a spirit.
God.
Right? Because people come like, what about the tribe of Dan? But then the Lord had it written this way so that you can be like, nah, but in Revelation, he's not mentioned that.
Right. That's right. That's
you
right,
know?
Man.
Because that's just literally, I was reading, I was like, oh, why is it written this way?
Yeah.
But it's just so that, but once again, it goes back to the point about how the Lord is meticulous.
Yep.
Right?
That's
It says, and after this I beheld a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand. Right, and that's talking about Israelite foreigners, man.
Yep.
No, it's like that's talking about you got the 144,000, then you've got the many multitude of, and all of that is speaking about Israelites, right? There ain't no other nation trying to sneak in there, man.
Yeah, because it says all kindreds and people want to. Oh, see, there it is. Yeah, all kindreds. But nah, we've been dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth, man. So we will come out of all of those countries, man, where we were dispersed to, man. And it goes into that in Matthew 24, I believe. Yeah. Which I'll get that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's also one of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Right, which ultimately, look, we have Israelites that look like so-called white people, right, which in this world is a blessing, right? If you got that so-called white skin and you're one of the brothers, they use that to your advantage. But the truth is, that's really a curse, man. Right? Hey, you here it is. You can't enjoy the sun like that, man.
Yeah.
And which is kind of like the world is covered by this, the light of the earth of the sun, it shines upon the earth all the time, man.
Yeah. Real talk, man. For you to be allergic to the sun, that is hell, man.
Yeah.
That's like being allergic to a vagina.
Like, man.
That's hell.
Oh, man.
But that's the kind of condition that Esau's in, man.
Yeah.
He's through.
True.
You finished with that?
Yep.
Right, this is Matthew 24 and verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Now, them clouds is talking about them UFOs, man. Right? Which really they're IFOs. They're identified flying objects, because we know through the Spirit that they're the chariots of the Lord, man. They're the vehicles, the heavenly vehicles of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and the angels.
Yep.
All right? And it says, see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, man.
That's right.
Right? Because we will disperse throughout the four corners of the earth. So that's why the angels are going to sift through, the nations, and those who are Israelites and of the elect, they're going to be taken out of the abundance and taken into the chariots, man.
That's right.
And it says, now learn a parable of the fig tree. Oh, I don't want to go into that. That's cool. That was on that point.
Yeah, that's all the precepts I got. You got any more, bro?
No, that's it. We pretty much covered the point.
Yeah.
We're in these last days, and it's a beautiful thing, man, because this truth, of us being the Israelites, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, is becoming more and more apparent as the days go by, right? And it's becoming to a point where Esau can't even deny it, the fact that we're the Israelites that the Bible speak of. It's so evident. We have the evidence, all right? And more importantly, we have the faith that we're these people. It's okay having evidence and scientific this and scientific that, but we have faith that we're actually them people, and the faith is stronger than having tangible evidence.
That's right.
All right? We don't need Esau's DNA system to prove that we're the children of the Lord. We have the scriptures, man. In fact, let me get Romans 8 and 16.
Yeah. Because the thing is, if it was that simple, then where would be the need for faith?
Right.
Well, you want to know if you're Israelite? Oh, just take a test, man.
Can't. Exactly. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 16. It says, the Spirit itself, right, beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High, man. So it's the Spirit that beareth witness. The Spirit is this Bible, man. This truth, man. This knowledge. That bears witness with our spirit that we're the children. It resonates. The scriptures say, my sheep hear my voice. I know them and they follow me. That's what Yahweh Shai said, man. Right? So this is a spiritual thing. This is not something where you have to, go and take a DNA test and wait for the results for 2 weeks and then, Hamite, and then you get pressed. You don't have to do that, man. Because it might come back as Hamite, but then you're a Jake. Yeah. Because you can't rely on Esau's DNA system, man. Yeah.
Yeah, because Esau's carnal, but the Lord is spiritual.
Man. Right. That's right. Man. Verse 17, and if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach. So we joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, man. Right? Because Yahweh Shai was given, this world, man. Was given this kingdom. It belongs to Yahweh Shai. But us being joint heirs, Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the biblical Israelites, we're joint heirs with the Lord, man. All right? And partakers of being in his kingdom. With Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may also be glorified together. So that's why we're going through this purification process, man.
That's right.
We're going through this suffering, just like Yahweh Shai went through his suffering, his portion, man. We're going through it on a lower level. All right?
That's right.
Verse 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us, man. So what we're going through right now, all these trials and tribulations, the mockery, it's you can't even really watch that, man, right? Because what we're gonna receive in the kingdom, if we endure to the end, right, is gonna be a glorious feeling, man. It's gonna be worth the wait. The scriptures talk about laying up treasures in heaven, man, where moth and dust don't corrupt. That's what we're doing by pushing this word and taking part in this ministry.
Yep. I've got one. It's 2 Corinthians 4:17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Just reiterating the point. Right?
That's right, man. All right, man. We can close it off there.
Cool. Go.
Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And we would like to give all praises to Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, that rule well and that taught us his truth. And shalom, to the Akim out there and the few Akwaf that may be listening. And until next time, shalom.
Shalom.